Why is it doing that? What does it look like on yours?
I haven't even got a notification yet.
Yeah, that's funky. Why is it doing that? And I'm afraid to cut this off because then what's going to happen?
Young, especially the women in the United States. Education is very important to run the government. And the situation why the Trump bombed the island, we're gonna go almost 3 years ago. The women's life freedom, it was the 13, 14 years kids, all the high school in Iran came to the conclusion of the we should have a running our government, and that those teenagers in the classroom, they took the Ayatollah's Khomeini picture and Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, teared it up and burned them. And that is the movement came. Women's life freedom. What happened? Biden administration didn't support. Regime of the Islamic regime was one step to triple, to downfall with the Iranian young women. You know, Biden administration didn't support that movement. What happened? Again, Trump administration, they had the same strategy. Every movement is going on to Iran is not going to support it with the United States government. Why? Because they need a cheap oil, and that is the bomb. What's happening in Iran? The national trucking, the National Union trucking in Iran has a strike. Everything was shut down. The trucking, what am I talking about? The 18-wheelers. They didn't transport goods, around the city of the Iran. And that is it. And that bombing, what happened? Affected that movement in Iran as a big demonstration again. And that is the purpose of the Trump administration not supporting the trucking demonstration. And that is the bombing that started.
So as I understand, I watched a story on Iran, and Iran had one of the oldest constitutions in the Middle East, correct? Like back in the day, the monarchy and stuff like that?
Yes, but those monarchy is looking for their own benefit.
Okay.
They don't care about the people of the Iran. Look at the Sistan Baluchistan is backward almost from the Qajar dynasty. Still, the children in the Sistan Baluchistan doesn't have no school,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
And that is the richest city of the Iran. All the oil is come from that city, but they don't have no benefit of the Iranian.
Hold on, I'm taking a suggestion here. Yeah, see, I don't know I'm sorry. My problem is I try to set my settings before I went live again. I know Rashad looks big. I tried to flip the camera to readjust. Let me see if I can flip it back and forth. There we go. Yeah, no gig, guys. I don't know what's going on with my camera, and I already used one in my live. Please forgive me, guys. I hope we can hear him very good anyway. But anybody that would know about what's going on in Iran is this guy right here. He's lived in Iran. He's from Tehran. And he came to America for freedom, and he's out here educating people. That's his main message. Education's going to solve this problem. Not hate, not violence, not agitation or anything. Education first. My life's messed up, guys, so we're going to get a good word from Rashad really quick, and we're going to go from there. What would you like to say to the world, Rashad?
Look, during the Biden administration, what I said, they didn't support the Iranian movement. For what? Because the Biden was sanction of the Iranian oil. Venezuela oil is in sanction. They need a cheap oil. Who buying those cheap oil? This is the important to know. The cheap oil, because the United States put a cap on the Russian oil to sell it to Europe. $30 a barrel. The Iranian sanction oil or Venezuela sanction oil, if they want to sell it, how much they going to sell? They're going to go under that $30. Who's buying it? India, they don't have no oil. China, they don't have no oil. Japan, they don't have no oil. And those countries buying those cheap oil. For what? For our factory in United States, October 21st, 1972, our factory go to the China, India, and that is it. They need those factory need to buy those cheap oil.
So let me ask you this, even when the sanctions, before all this happened, Iran had sanctions, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they were getting oil out of Iran despite the sanctions to these countries you're messaging, like India, etc., Russia and stuff like that?
You know, if anybody want to buy the oil, they go straight to the Russian to get the $30 a barrel.
Right, I got you. So it was kind of a cover-up, or how do I explain it? Russia was brokering the oil for Iran.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or no, because the Iranian directly send the 400 tanker, you know, vessel, 400 of it. They send it to international water and sell it to the, you know, those countries they wanted
I got you.
cheap oil.
So they went in international water, so they wouldn't exactly, Russia wouldn't get caught, nobody would get caught, and who could say what in international waters, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Because that's open market there. And I guess international waters would be ruled by maritime law, maybe, if there's anything like that. Wow. So at the end of the day, all this is about oil and religion. Religion's in there as well.
Exactly. Right now, Nigerian is Islamic regime is killing the anybody they are not a Muslim.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because the Christians or no matter what. I'm not, wait, but the Christians are having a hard time, and if you were Jewish, if you,
sure.
yeah, they would have a hard time. So, I mean, would you say that, because there's a lot of thing out there, and the way I look at it, which I, believe who you want, how you want, where you want, but would you believe that all Muslims aren't bad, right? Not like we have extreme Christians, we have extreme Muslims.
Education.
Education.
Education. You don't need to be extreme, this and that. Read the Quran. If you want to question, you come here. I'm a scholar on the Quran. Okay? I tell you from the Muhammad was a 13, 14 years, his dad died. From that beginning, his uncle Abu Talib is adopted. That is it. I go through to that, step by step, follow that situation to right now. What's going on? You know?
Okay. I got you.
You're nice. Wow. God bless you guys.
Peace.
God bless you.
There we go. So, I guess my next question to you, is it going to get worse before it gets better? Do you think we'll put boots on the ground, stuff like that?
They are, the United States is not going to put the, soldier over there, and that is because it's not doesn't have, internationally, the people gonna coming to the city of Denver and make a demonstration against that war. They
Right.
don't want to see it. They don't want to see the taxpayer pay for bombing of the Iranian. They don't have it. They
Right.
don't have a nuclear. Why am I saying? Because I have a fact. Iranian has 1,000 miles of the border with the Russia. Russia doesn't want to have a neighbor has an atomic bomb.
Right.
This is the fact.
But the last time you said so, why do you think Trump even got involved? And this is what I believe.
Okay.
The United States is already funding Israel, right? I mean, they're funding Israel, they're giving them weapons and stuff like that. So what's so different than us putting boots on the ground when it comes to that? Why do you think they won't do it? Because obviously demonstrations don't bug Trump.
No.
You know what I mean? He wants the controversy, most
Exactly.
definitely. Well, I believe both sides do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like either side, but I believe both sides do. And one side's playing the bad guy, one side's playing the good guy. That's how our politics have been going. Like you said, I investigate since 1972. That's how our politics have been going. They're embedded with each other, but they want to think we're apart from each other, right?
Because we own those factories in China, India, and Japan. We own it. The billionaire of United States own those factories, and that is they want to have a cheap oil as much as get it, and they can
Well, not only cheap oil, cheap labor as well. They don't.
That's it.
Yeah, they want to pay somebody the minimum so they can put more in their pocket.
Yeah,
Correct?
Chinese has a tremendous labor, and India same thing.
Yeah. They're really making it, so they would take anything they could get.
And
They're
the
playing off the people's misery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at here. And those products from China and India coming to United States, Walmart,
Yeah.
and the dollar store.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that situation. If Trump is talking about 25 or 35 raising the tax against those countries, they don't.
Right.
They don't, because they're gonna asking the question to the Sam Houston or Sam Walton, in the owner of the Walmart or Sam's Club.
And all they're doing is putting money in their pocket as well.
Exactly.
And they're not worried about the working people. The only reason why they pay somebody a certain wage is because they got to, because there was laws passed, correct? Okay, I'm going to ask my chat if they have any questions. You got any questions for Rashad? again, this guy would know better than anybody. He's lived it. You know, this guy's a wonderful guy and part of the community. He's been out here for 5 years. Any chance he can get to educate the people, not spew hate, not saying you're right or wrong. He'll sit down there and have a conversation. I know, I've had a conversation with him, and there's no hard feelings, and he always leaves me with something to think about, always something to think about and to educate myself. Like I saw that one thing, how the Persian government was one of the top governments out there, then the Islamic regime took over and stuff, and I believe the United States had something to do with that as well, I'm sure.
Because in 1979, the Buddha Ayatollah was the end of the contract for coup d'etat against Dr. Mossadegh, because of the Dr. Mossadegh tried to make a national Iranian oil.
Right.
And the United States or British or any other country, they don't like that national oil company.
Okay, so Romney asked this question. When will Iraq be, hold on a minute. When will Iraq, no, not Iraq, an international country again?
The Iraqis, they have their own problem right now. They are, they have a contract with the United States.
Yeah.
The oil from the Iraq, 17% it goes to the Kurdish people, and the rest of them, half of it goes to the United States, and half it goes to the, Iraqis regime. That is the contract, because they are looking for United States. Are they using the bomb? They are collecting it right now with the oil, and that is the whole situation in that. It's not going to be nationalized or something like that in the Iraqi regime. They are more aggressive against the, and all those, what you call it, Hashd Shabi and all those regime, those militia, and those militia is the terrorist militia. They are growing in that area.
Okay, Real Chingy, this is who this community member is. He said, didn't I hear something about oil? The oil Arab countries wanted their own system of cash so they can sell to the Americans and not use the dollar. Does that make sense? You want me to repeat that one? Okay, he said, didn't I hear something about the oil Arab countries wanted their own system of cash so they can sell to Americans and not use the dollar?
Those Arab countries, they are under the thumb of the Israelis and United States. They don't have a military to fight with the United States. And that is the goal. Every 2-3 months, Trump go over there or Biden go over there, or, because of United States have owned those Arab, they own those Arabs country,
Basically, because they got all the toys, basically,
Exactly.
They're fluffing them up, right? Yeah, they're fluffing them up. That's why Saudi Arabia is building so much and
They
stuff
are
like that.
building because of the American is supporting those buildings, Otherwise, with the tension inside of the Iran to bomb this or bomb that, they can send a couple of the missiles in United Arab Emirates or send a missile to the Saudi Arabia. Those situations.
Okay, so I guess what he's trying to say, like they wanted to move away from the American system of making payments to America.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Are we underestimating Iran?
We are not estimating the Iranian government. They don't have no power. That is the bombing is helping the, that national strike of the. Let me just see you, 1973. What happened to Salvador Allende in Chile?
Right.
What's happened? The trucking company, the trucking union have a demonstration. After that demonstration, the Pinochet military take over the country and, rid of the Salvador Allende, the national, prime minister of the Chile. That is the only situation. In Iran too, about the 30 days ago, the national Turkian have a strike against the regime. It wasn't against the military or something like that. Against the regime. And what's happened? The Trump start to bombing to, divert that potentiality, the collapse of the Ayatollah. And that is the whole situation.
Do you think Israel underestimating Iran? That's what it's looking like. I mean,
No, they are acting like that. The Iranian government is the powerful Islamic regime, I can say, is power. No, they don't. They don't have it. 95% of the Iranian people is against that regime. 95%.
why do you think they got? I mean, I'm just seeing what, and I know that the news analysts tell the truth, but why is there so many people protesting? So you're saying out there in the street, that's people that are supporting the Iranian government in power now. It's only Islamic regime. It's only 5% of the 95%.
Exactly.
Or are there people out there just because they're scared of the government? Could that be as well?
Because the government is getting support from the Russian and China, all those military gear against the peaceful people.
Right.
How many people the regime execute?
Okay. You were speaking on oil. Real Jingy said this. Isn't it true that Venezuela actually has the greatest amount of oil over the Arab countries, the Arab states?
But they had a sanction. They need to sell those oil.
So the
And
sanctions stopping them.
That is the sanction. They need to go under the Russian price of the oil to sell it to the China, India, Japan.
I
And
got you.
those is the all other country. I don't know about the Vietnam and those factory we have. In Bangladesh we have a factory. Our clothes is coming from the Bangladesh. Those factory belongs to American billionaire. They need the oil. And that is the
That's the end of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're using that. You're saying like the religion part of it's kind of a smoke screen. At the end of the day, it's about the money and the one billionaire that has all the money and he wants to keep it. He's basically saying, F you, this is what I'm going to do, right? Right on. Okay, we're going to take off here, but anything good you want to say to the world, Rashad? Anything that's going to help the world?
all
Educate us.
this coming. Come to your street. Come to the capital. That is I'm trying to bring as much as people in the Colorado capital. We have a 50 capital. And that 50 capital, we're going to change the government. The government, who's running the government? Is the Supreme Court of the United States running the global economy. Just think about it. Those people, those 9 judges making decision for the 40, 50 years of our time, sitting on those bench, that is, you can click. Those 9 judges running the global economy. We need to change. We need to put a progressive Supreme Court. If we put it,
or at least term limits,
no,
because
progressive Supreme Court with the
But-
term limit,
Yeah, with
to
the term
make a
limit.
decision.
Okay.
You know,
I'm just saying I don't
Yeah.
agree completely with the progressive movement. You know what I mean? I look at both sides, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but wouldn't it be better if each part had a piece in it, instead of like, that's what's happening now. One group of people is ruling the Supreme Court. Don't you think we should have like a mix of people's views in there? You
This
with
is-
me on that?
this is the depend of the future of the American struggle.
Right,
They are making the vote for the Supreme Court.
right,
And I can make a judgment on that
Right.
situation. And that is it. But the Supreme Court of the United States need to be changed. And if we change it, the Communist Party of the USA, they are not going to do the violence to give a gun to the hand of the woman to killing the billionaires, kill the billionaires of FUCK Trump, FUCK ISIS. The Supreme Court need to be changed, and that is the. If you Supreme Court changes to the progressive, they can freeze those billionaire money and
Right.
get those money and spend it for the.
right. Make it more of a fair system, is what
Exactly.
you're saying.
Exactly.
So probably term limits would probably be the first thing to work on, because
Exactly. So-
you know, I mean, I'm not doubting your opinion, don't get me wrong, but when you say progressive to some people, they get scared because they think of Biden
No,
or
educated
something.
people.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they get scared, and I don't agree with all the progressive ways. I don't, but I do agree with this. We do need term limits, and we need to start in one place.
Sure.
So I'm going to say this community before I take off with Rashad. This guy is standing alone
Thank you.
just about every weekend. None of us as Americans do this. See his display right here. None of us as Americans do this. This guy's out here alone. If you're in the Mile High City, come and visit Rashad. Tell him Howie Hood sent you,
Yeah.
and we need to do
Young
some change.
generation.
We need education, and this is one thing I agree with this guy 100%. And this guy really, this is what, you know, we live in a country, you know, F Trump, F Biden, F them all. We need to sit down.
Not going to solve the problem.
Yep, we need to sit down and talk and at least come to some agreement. But there we go. Rashad, give the peace sign, sign us off, brother. Hey, thank you, community, for coming in here. Real Jingy, John Donacola, really thank you for being here. Romney, you know you're drumming in the free world. Dub Wubs, thank you. Who else did we have in here? We had Big Mike, thank you for the camera help. That was really important. I really appreciate that. That helped it. We got it down, Big Mike. Watching after the community, and I appreciate that. And we don't have to agree. Money 420, what's up, brother? Appreciate you being here. Let's see who else was in here. That's it. Have a good day. Keep rocking in the free world, guys.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you.
No, thank you.